Today, have a type of yellow one there, eh?
What comes out of that will absolutely ruin your day.
G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode of Venom Diaries. Today, it's all things tiger snakes, all right? So I'm actually in the middle of milking. You'll see my shelf is very empty. So it's time to pipette some tiger snakes. So I did do a few on the vials already, but I'm gonna pipette a couple as well, and then I'll show you our very beautiful eastern tiger snake that I've got on display. So come with me. This is literally a wall of Tasmanian tiger snakes. The Tassies like it a bit cooler, right? Tiger snakes in general don't like hot weather, but the Tassies can handle ridiculous temps. All right? I've been down to Tassie myself a few years ago. It was May, and I was rugged up and freezing. And I looked down the side of the path, and there's a tiger snake, just like, ew, how good's his sun? And I was like, what? A lot of our Australian snakes could not handle temperatures like that. But to accommodate, the Tassies are literally almost jet black in colour. And in fact, ooh, this one's a bit lively today. In fact, most of the island variety tiger snakes across the south, like Chapel Island, they're like a really dark colour as well, almost black. And then, yeah, these Tassies, have a go at him, would you? So we think they've evolved to be that nice dark coloration to absorb that heat. Like, you know, when you sit in the sun in winter and it's freezing cold, then you're sitting down, there's no wind, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's actually quite nice and warm. And you look at the temp gauge and it's like 6 or 7 degrees, but because you're in the direct sunlight, imagine if you were the colour of him doing that, you'd be feeling pretty good, alrighty? So they're not going to be eating in those temps because it's far too cold, but they can pop out of wherever he's camped up, a hollow log or under a rock shelf or even out of a wombat burrow, poke out, get some lovely sunshine and go about his thing. They've generally got pretty big heads on them, these Tassies. There's only a younger one, but yeah, good, real good size venom glands there, massive, all right? And tigers are the 5th most venomous snake on the planet. Up until about mid-19th century, they were responsible for the most fatalities in Australia. Oh, he has just, have I got it, have I got it? It's just shed a fang. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right on the tip of his mouth. Got it. So have a go at this, would you? Size does not matter, okay? Look at that tiny, tiny little fang there. But what comes out of that will absolutely ruin your day, okay? Isn't it wild how small that is, but how effective that tiny little thing with a bit of fluid coming out of it, highly toxic venom. Get him on there. And you're not going to give me much today, are you, mister? It's still all right. Still all right. I'm just going to put him on here, see if I can get a little bit more out of him. Ooh, there we go. Give me a little bit more then. Look at that. Oh, he's a double fanger on that side. I didn't notice that when I was pipetting him. That's probably why I was, hanging out. You can just see it there. Look at that. Double fanger, all right? So he's replacing both his fangs at the same time, so he's just dropped that other one. I reckon if I played around in the gums there, which I'm not going to do on this side, I'd probably find that new one. But you can see there, look at that, the old one and the new one. How good. So the new one comes down like this and the old one folds back and he spits it out like he just did with that one. You ripper. So with tiger snakes, you're generally finding them near water, all right? Whether it's just a small creek or a big swamp, a marsh, whatever, because they love to eat frogs, all right? There's island locality tiger snakes like the Chapel Island tigers. As an adult, they only feed on baby muttonbird chicks, all right? So they go down the muttonbird burrows and they smash them. There's another locality on another island where they eat seagull chicks, and the adult seagulls peck the tiger snakes around the face, you know, trying to defend the chicks. And most of the adult tigers on that island don't even have eyes anymore. They're just like eye sockets that are filled with sand. It's great. They reckon over time they're probably going to evolve to have no eyes because their main sense is their sense of smell for using food. So they can literally go hunting seagull chicks without any vision. It's crazy. Ripper. So yeah, they're generally near water, like damp forests and so on. You can get them right along the coastal fringes, like literally on the beaches in some areas. And the name, oh, I'm going to go left hand. The name tiger snake is actually not a great name, right? Because, well, this guy's shed and he's got a retained, eye specs. So I'm going to try and get that off. Yeah, they don't always have bands. See, he's shed his skin there. He's got a little bit left on around his eye, so I'm going to try and grab it. So it's just lifted off. Woo! Eye cap. How cool is that? He'll be feeling relieved. Isn't that well? Imagine shedding your eyeball. They do it. Oh. Lucy here. I don't actually think I've ever pipetted left-handed. And I can see why. I'm not very good at it. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm pipetting right-handed, but I'm holding him by the left and he's got his tail between my fingers and I can't squeeze my grip properly. Alright, here we go. So we got it there. Oi, it's coming. Oi! Yeah, we did it. How good. That did not feel very comfortable though, so I won't do that one again. But see how they're light underneath? Like he's got, I guess, lines of black, but he's also got lines of white. Okay, we're going to look at a couple of easterns now. So I've got one sub-adult eastern here, which we'll have a look at. I'm not going to milk him because he's only little. And then I'm going to milk our display female. I'll just grab a little ladder because it's up high. Not today. Mister. So he's almost spitting image of the adult I'm going to show you. Like that brown and yellow. And ooh, that grey head. Very typical for this locality in New South Wales. Real nice looking snakes, but super toxic. All right, so yeah, he's probably about 18 months old now. He will be probably 2.5 before I start using him for venom extraction. All right, so he's got a fair bit of growing to do. And the easterns don't generally get massive. They're normally only a bit over a metre, maybe 1.1, where the Tassies get over like 1.5 metres easy, all right? So we'll put him away. They're generally a diurnal hunter, which means they're active in the daytime. Some areas you will see tigers at the night, especially in the real warmer months. They'll come out when it's cooler, but generally they're hunting in the day. They use their forked tongue to locate prey. When they're flicking their tongue out, they're picking up scent particles, right? So the tongue's in and out, So snakes and monitor lizards have forked tongues. And let's say the particles are stronger on the left-hand fork, it's going to direct him in that direction. You'll continue flicking, get in nice and close. Maybe you'll get a visual on it. His senses overload because there's an organ in the top jaw called Jacobson's organ, and that's what's telling him what he's smelling. Come in nice and close, and they just go whack, and they grab and they just hold on. They just envenomate. It stops the blood moving around the body, really like on a small prey item within seconds, and then their heart and lungs stop working from the neurotoxin, and it's game over. And they will literally just swallow it down whole. Sometimes they start, like frogs, put up a bit of a fight, bigger frogs, and they'll literally start eating them whole alive. All right, it's hard, same as a lizard, it's hardcore. Yeah, the wild is a wild place. All right, put it that way. Here we go. Oh, flatten the neck out. So that's pretty typical for a tiger snake. They do that neck flattening. I'll see if I can get it to do it for you. There we go. So they're real twitchy, real responsive. And yeah, you can see here, not overly big, only probably a bit over a metre. Really keen to bite. I find these guys harder to handle than the Tassies. They just flip out like that. Oh man, that came past my arm. Oi, 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 oi. Up on the pinner. And you'll see her jaws are a lot more flexible than the Tassies. Like she'll literally just start trying to get those fangs into me, like that. It's really hard, you just got to hold your ground. So I'm just going to get her on the venom vial. And boom. Oh, that was a full squirt too, from both fangs. Massive. And yeah, that probably 60, 70 milligrams of venom there. Life-saving stuff. All right, tiny little fangs. Mate, isn't that cool? And so tiger snakes are live bearing, all right? So most snakes around the world lay eggs, but we have plenty of live bearers as well. So in Australia, you know, your tiger snakes, your red-bellied black snakes, death adders, and so on. But these guys can give birth to up to, you know, 24 tiny little babies at a time. And there's no parental care. They're off to fend for themselves from day one, all right? So only the toughest survive. Most of them do get picked off by predators. Have a go at the yellow under, eh? Absolutely gorgeous snake. And she was very eager to bite me today. Not very nice, all right? So she is a proud mama, that one. I moved them upstairs though to our other building with the venom because they'll be used mainly for the shows and the show pit and so on as they get older. But yeah, they literally start out, they're this big. They come out in a little embryonic sac. They're literally that long, they're cute as. But they're as toxic as mum and dad from the moment they are born. People think that, I think I answered this question in a recent episode, but people think that they are more toxic than mum and dad or they don't know how to control their venom or any of that. That's just old wives' tales. They just seem to be more defensive because they're so little, all right? And everything wants to eat them, so they carry on like lunatics to try and push potential predators away from them so they can try and scoot out of the way to safety, all right? So when it comes to breeding, like most reptiles, it's in the springtime. So we'll pair the male with a female and you know, they'll court a little bit, he'll try and seduce her, and then they mate, he just scoots, doesn't hang around to look after the kids. And their gestation period, because they're live bearers, can be like 4 months or more. And they can literally hold a bit longer if they need to, if the weather's no good or whatnot. Now, mum obviously wants to give them a good start at life, so she'll try and drop them when things are looking good. They generally give birth in late summer or early autumn. And so because they're doing that, excuse me, I don't want to go left-handed again. There we go. Because they're doing that, they don't have a very long period to get a lot of food into them before it cools right off for winter. So yeah, they try and smash through bulk food and get ready to curl up somewhere for winter. And can you give me much on here? No. How did I just end up with another fang on my finger? What is going on here? Look at that. Another shed fang on my naughty finger. I'll just show you one thing. Sometimes they don't always pass the shed fangs out their mouth. Sometimes they literally go through their intestinal tract and come out in their poo. So that's what this one did. And because it's gone through the digestive tract, if one of us was to get punctured by that, the stomach acids sort out the venom, so there'd be no real risk of envenomation. So, when I was much younger and naughty, I had a tiger snake at home that I caught when I was very little. I won't say how young I was. And I had it in a fish tank in my bedroom, hidden, so my parents couldn't see it. And it got out. And I thought, oh, righto, he's gone. He must have got loose from the house. We were away camping when I caught it. I managed to stash it in, I think I put it in a pillowcase from memory, from my tent or my swag or something. And I took it home. Don't do that, kids, it's naughty. And it got out and boom, disappeared in the house. And so I was in a bit of a panic for about a week thinking, I think because I didn't even know what I was dealing with back then. Like I was just a small boy. And I had no idea what to think of or what that snake was capable of doing if it bit someone. And then found it in the garage like 6 months later. So I was like, just acted natural. Oh, how did that get there? And then took him back to where we caught him and let him go. So don't do that, all right? That was naughty, Bilbo. But when I was a kid, I was just obsessed. I'm as obsessed as I still am now with animals. And, I always caught snakes and stuff in the bush. But yeah, there's a lot of rules and regulations with that these days. So don't go doing what Bilbo did. All right, so I'm just going to grab a bin. I've got to process this venom out. Alrighty, so tiger snakes, they're the 5th most venomous snake in the world. So a bite left untreated will ruin your day very quick. Alrighty, so they can be extremely defensive. Like I know a lot of fishers that go and chase trout through the hills, the mountains, and they come across tiger snakes, and they're always like, "Oh man, it was just like flattened out. It was like carrying on." Like you just got to imagine how big you are compared to that snake. So when you're walking along and he's just sitting there getting a bit of sun, and then boom, there's this potential predator near him. That's why they carry on. They flatten their neck out, they hiss, they strike. They want to look as intimidating as possible. So you do a big loop around them and let him be, all right? But yeah, the bites are really bad. And like I said earlier, they were responsible for the most snakebite fatalities in Australia up until about the mid-1900s, when it was taken over by the eastern brown, because a lot of tiger snake habitat disappeared. They are habitat specific. And yeah, what will happen, again, I said this earlier, but yeah, when that when the venom hits your blood system, all sorts of dramas start to unfold, in particular that clotting effect that it has, and yeah, that can be disastrous really quickly. You can, without a bandage on or seeking medical assistance, you can have major blood clots forming inside of your heart, your brain, any of the big blood vessels around your body. And it can be hard to reverse those effects once they've been in there for a while. So that's why we always say, if you ever think you've been bitten by by any snake, put a bandage on and go to hospital, all right? If you see a snake, don't muck around with it, all right? Leave it for professionals, okay? I say this all the time, the majority of snake bites in Australia are middle-aged men trying to kill them, all right? They can't just say, oh, there's a snake over there, admire him. They just have this thing in their brain where they're like, I've got to kill that snake, all right? So sometimes they're just picking them up to try and show off in front of the kids or the missile or whatnot. I went up and did a snake bite first aid presentation for a stack of farmers last week up on the Gold Coast. It was really fun. It was for the 2025 Banana Congress up on the Gold Coast, and they asked me to come up and present on that. And yeah, I was talking to a lot of people, came up to me after the conference and even the night before at the little sort of meet and greet thing we did, and they were talking to me about bite and how, they're like, oh, you got hours of time, don't you? Like a lot of the guys come up to me, this is really scary. Because it's 2025 and people still think this. They think you just wait for symptoms and then you think about going to hospital. No, if you think you've been bitten, bandage, boom, hospital, no mucking around, okay? It's time that everyone starts taking snake bite seriously, all right? Because that bandage on your affected area can literally be the difference between life and death, okay? We don't see many deaths in Australia. There's only 2 to 3 annually, but usually those people don't do first aid, or they wait, oh nice yield, too long to do it, okay? So take note. Anyway guys, that is it for another episode. Hope you enjoyed it. You know the drill, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all for the next episode.